You're listening to the Super League Pod. Normal service is resumed for episode 107 of your favourite rugby league podcast. Mark's back from his trip to Bonnie, Scotland, as we prepare to bring you all your feedback and shout-outs, news from around the world of rugby league. We'll be looking back at another thrilling week's action in the Super League and bringing you our previews for the upcoming fixtures in the 2017 season. Everything's back to normal, kids. Strap yourselves in for your views on your podcast, the Super League Pod. Okay, hello everyone, welcome to the Super League Pod. I can talk at a normal speed this week, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's welcome Mark back to the podcast studio. How are you doing, fella?
I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, not bad. Good to see you back. How was your trip to Scotland? You've been up to a lot. I've seen quite a lot of social media about your exciting life. And
Yeah, I've been a busy lad, it's been alright, yeah. No, we had a good time.
Is that it?
No, we had a good time. Well, last weekend, the Cup quarter-final weekend, I was at a wedding where I was best man and had to wear a kilt.
Yeah.
That was all fun. And what I didn't know, what I didn't think about kilts, is that midges and flies and stuff can get sort of around your legs.
Did you go full Scottish?
No.
Oh, I don't know why I asked that question. That's not the sort of thing I'd have thought.
So after I'd sobered up and showered down by Sunday afternoon time, I noticed a load of bites all around my knees.
Right.
Which wasn't something I was prepared for.
Now, Emma was in a dress. Was she afflicted in the same way?
No, but one of the smart ideas of the photographer was to get us standing in this long grass. At the hotel, they had this sort of patch of untended to, I suppose, wildflower
Blackpool
grass.
Council roadside grass.
No, it was pretty.
Right, okay.
But it was long, and he had us standing in that, and obviously it was full of insects and shit that had a nice chew away on our legs.
Oh dear.
So that was interesting. But no, it was a great day. Craig and Shona had a great day and had a lot of fun. And they're off in Cancun. The couple that got married now. Mm-hmm. So it was fantastic all around. My best man speech went down pretty well.
Good.
And we all had a great time.
Fantastic. And then of course you've done a bit of a tour of Scotland as well with your better half in the week just gone.
Yeah. So we went to a little village called Comrie, it's in Perthshire, near Loch Earn, and I
know it well.
we stayed in a Landmark Trust property, and the Landmark Trust tried to keep the properties as basic and true to how they would have originally felt as possible. Okay. So it was a house that was built around about the turn of the century.
Right.
Not this century, the one before. And was designed by Charles Rennie Mackintosh. I'm sure a lot of people will be aware of the artist, designer and architect Mackintosh,
who lends his name to tarmac, if I recall my GCSE history correctly. Was he not the Macadam? Oh, it was Macadam.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
But Mackintosh,
why do I know his name then?
He designed the Glasgow School of Art building that was set on fire.
That won't be it.
Recently. It's quite famous.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, he designed this house that we stayed in the flat in there, and that was really nice. There was no TV, no Wi-Fi, pretty cut off.
I saw the pictures you put
Mobile signal wasn't great,
and it did look very kind of
floorboards and blankets and sheets rather than duvets, and I mean it was modernised enough to have a fridge and electricity and stuff, but it was very much pared back still, and really, really nice to be in that environment. And we took our canoe out on Loch Earn. We went up Ben Vorlich, which is a Munro, although a fairly small Munro, but big for me and Emma. And we went to Perth, visited some relatives, met up with Mike Donnelly, who listeners to the podcast will know. He's a Catalan fan, but he's Scottish. So we had a great evening with him. We stayed probably for a beer or two longer than we'd planned because we were having such a nice time, and then Emma got a bit annoyed driving home in the dark along a sort of windy road that she wasn't used to, but that was all
pretty selfish of you, really, mate.
All passed by. Yes, I didn't know fucking driving all week. After the 4-hour drive up and the driving around most of the time. I think I deserved a night off. But that was really nice.
Did you put it to her that way?
Yeah.
Good.
No, I don't remember how I put it to her. Then, we also visited my maternal grandmother. Was born in that area and lived there till sort of mid-teens. One of her parents had family here, where we're from, around the Fylde.
Okay.
But her mother, so my great-grandmother, was from Perthshire. We met some of their relatives that still live. We went by the school and little cottages and stuff that they lived in when they were younger. So that was really nice to see. I think it's somewhere I've been when I was about 6 or 7, but not since. Perth's a really nice city, actually. So we spent a bit of time there. And then at the weekend we went to Glasgow. And we spent 2 nights in a very, very, very modern hotel. It's called Citizen M. They have them all around the world. But it's basically a small, compact room. Everything fit in really neatly. Everything's controlled by an iPad that's next to your bed.
Yeah.
So you can control the mood, the temperature, the lighting, the blinds and stuff. So it was very different to where we'd been before. But yeah, it was really nice. Glasgow's got a lot of amazing buildings. If you look up rather than look down, because the streets are a little bit dirty.
Right.
I found it was quite busy and dirty. And we were a little bit put out. There was like an Orange Men march, and it sort of, because of the sort of rowdiness of the people who were around that.
Right.
And we found it a little bit uncomfortable, but I explained to her that they don't hate English people because they like the Queen, so it's okay.
Yeah.
She didn't need to worry. So that was okay. In the end, no one.
Wow.
Yeah, loads of stuff going on. It was crazy. We saw so much stuff. It was brilliant.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds amazing. And of course, it's wonderful to.
What about you? What have you been up to?
Fuck all.
We're going to hear a lot about you next.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, my weekends alternate between having Erin and not doing. So the weekend previous to this, I didn't have Erin, so I watched as much rugby league as I possibly could and made notes and got ready to host my half-hour live Super League pod, and then logged on to do a quick run through and a rehearsal with some of the the music that you can use on the app to like cut between.
We'll get to that later.
What have you? And discovered that I had half the amount of time that I thought I had to do, so crossed off a lot of stuff and had to kind
it looks like the freebie account has been restricted more, so that's going to be annoying. We'll be able to upload less shows and keep them there for less time, which will be frustrating, but that's what it is.
But no, the highlight of my weekend this weekend, I took Erin to Preston long story short, she wanted to get some nice soap. And so I went to Lush, which is, sort of one of these places. It's a chain place.
Hold on. Erin's 4, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, should I tell you why she wanted to buy some nice soap? Because when we went on holiday, the cabin that we stayed in, the people who owned it, they had like a bowl with a selection of colourful different soaps in it, and she picked up this lavender one, and it was all kind of marbled inside and dead pretty, and she really liked it, and she kept going on and on, and it sort of fascinated her a little bit, so she kept going on and on about it, and one way or another this lavender bar of soap found its way into my bag before I came home. So she used this soap, and it kind of all dissolved in the bath, and she coped well with it, but I said to her, I know where there's a shop that we can go and you can choose some more. So that's what we did. So we went to Lush. Now Lush is amazing because it
smells so strong.
It's pungent. It is pungent. But the people who work in there are some of the happy. Now whether it's the chemicals in the soap and the colours and all the dyes that they're breathing in or what have you, but the people were fantastic. And the lass who was in there was so lovely with Erin, who was kind of not taken aback by it, but it was all a new experience. And she was looking at the different soaps, and the lady was letting her sniff them and find the one she wanted. And she spent a good, completely unnecessary, really, 5 minutes really looking after Erin, and we were only going to buy a bar of soap and maybe a bath bomb, and we did, but they were brilliant. So I can heartily recommend their customer service, and because they treated my little girl so well. So we came out with this big block of, you'll see if you go to the loo later on, this big square block of pink soap that smells like bubble gum, which is in love with. We bought this little bath bomb, and I thought it was going to be a bit of a damp squib, but this thing fair went off and like fizzing, dyed all the bathwater pink. So, and then there was little foil hearts in the middle of it. So as the bath bomb disintegrated and dissolved into the water, these hearts dispersed as well, and she was going nuts for it. So that was kind of seeing her enjoyment of that was kind of the highlight of my week. So that's what I've been up to when I've not been briskly podcasting.
Well, we're going to talk a lot about your brisk podcasting now, because basically that's all the shout out and feedback stuff we have pretty much, Tom, is about your show, and it went down brilliantly. I must say, I listened to it. I was impressed at how much you got into such a short space of time. Some of the bits that you weren't able to fit in, we've fit in a few bits into this show, haven't we, to make sure we've not missed too much out from like game reviews and that sort of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll start with Elliot Wrench. He said, so look forward to the long show, but this is a good and fresh change. Good work, Tom. Brilliant quality. Yeah, it was really good, decent quality. It's better than our dictaphone quality. Just got everything in there too, Tom. Thanks for putting on the show.
You're very welcome.
Paul Campbell said, well done, Tom. Great stuff. Cutthroat Jake, John got in touch. He said, great show, Tom. Shame you didn't have more time. Tyler Cass fan, well done, Tom Crook, on the live Super League pod. Great quality. Just wish there was more time. Hashtag bossed it. Lee Whitnall, well done, Tom. Clearly it's Mark's fault you can't read normally a flawless performance tonight.
I'm not saying anything because it wasn't flawless.
Putting a couple of asterisks.
Yeah. Well, I'm my own biggest critic, anyways. And I knew that starting tonight, I'd need to at least listen to it a couple of times, so that if I had made mistakes, I would be prepared for you pointing them out to me. So I already knew about them when I think I called the John Smith Stadium the JJB at one.
I wasn't going to go into detail.
No,
about
but that's okay. Let's all
we all that happened.
I think I counted 4.
Yeah,
genuine just missteps.
Dom Hodgson said, well done, that man. When you said 15 minutes, I thought, bollocks, is he going to get a show done in 15 minutes?
Well, in one way or another we were, yeah.
Mark Butler said, top work, the campaign to stop Brian Carney's irresistible rise to Rugby League anchorman in favour of Tom starts here. So I look forward to seeing that petition go up.
There you go.
Paul O'Brien said, great show from Tom, professionally done, and all the contents fitted into a shorter show. A couple from Mark Rosevere. He said, brilliant, Tom. You guys do rugby and the fans proud. Look forward to any type of cast you guys do every week. Hashtag follow hashtag bridge. But he was being nice then.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's generally quite nice to me, is Mark.
No, I like Mark too, but he loves the wind-up game, doesn't he? He also said, Tom, that was great. Not sure Mark, with his ramblings of Wigan, would have fit all that in. Confused with your Salford cast prediction, though.
Yeah.
Chris McEwen, he got in touch. He said, good work, Tom. A 15-minute live pre-show prior to the recording of the big show is definitely the answer.
It's not the answer, Chris, because what we talk about for 15 minutes pre-show is generally sort of a version of How's Your Week Been and the stuff that we do in the kind of run-up to the feedback and shout-outs anyway, and just a bit of us kind of catching up. I don't think it makes for a great listen, really.
I think he would mean
like a really fast version of
the show. I just sort of think it's a good idea.
I think, isn't it, as a one-off, and every so often it'll be nice to do, but I think it kind of defeats the purpose of what we do in terms of create that forum for everybody.
Yeah, give everyone's go a go. The devil in the detail, guys. Rob was really up on the fact that we're doing a live show, because they do quite a bit of live stuff through Periscope and that sort of thing, don't they? On Devil in the Detail. But they got in touch. Tom showing he has the skills to pay the bills,
which was high praise indeed from those gents. So that was very much appreciated.
And that's our bills are zero.
Yeah. I think it's more a turn of phrase, Mark, than anything else. But on that, stick it up your arse.
On that topic, though, Bob Phillips, he got in touch. He said that was amazing work to get it all in. P.S. SLP for SLP Live 2, I'll cough up some Spreaker time dollars.
Yeah, this became a thing, didn't it?
Cutthroat Jake said, if that's what you need, count me in. Elliot Wrench said, me 3. An SLP Live from on the road somewhere in a pub after a game with a few fans. Then Dom Hodgson said, also happy to chip in for a full show on Spreaker, any chance to send us to show some live abuse.
Well, I think a combination of those ideas could work. I don't think it's something that we would necessarily petition listeners for to do every week, but we need to have a conversation about perhaps organising a live show and doing something like that. But again,
we definitely have an idea, and we always have had, of having a sort of pod in the pub episode.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't necessarily be a live show, but we'd get some of the gang around a table in the back room of a pub somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's something that we still have ambition to figure out a way of sorting out at some point in the future.
Yeah.
I think that all these ideas are good ideas. It's just we don't have the time to pull them off.
Not necessarily. I think
not to the level that we kind of would want them to be, and to work them into everything. Because the one thing that was missing last week, and you'll obviously say the same thing, is the listener feedback on the game reviews, which is integral to what we do as far as we're concerned. That's the main focus of the show. I'm glad that you got so much of the feedback and shout out stuff in. I can't remember if there was something that you were going to throw forward to this week, and I've forgotten what it was. One of the questions we got, maybe.
Oh, something.